What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? I have energy. I feel so mixed. I feel like I have so much energy, and I also feel like so it feels like really. It feels like the name of this video, bruh, the spectrum. I literally called this the spectrum, and like I knew what I was calling it. But at the same time, look, sorry, excuse me, pardon me. That was just me trying to get my feet situation. Ooh, situated. Ooh, thank you, Jesus. Um, I'm trying to hook it up for y'all so y'all can see me better and so I can be comfortable. Welcome. Um, yeah, I did say that I'm calling this the spectrum. I said, show stopping, hey, show stopping, show stopping. That's how we keep it popping. That's why I can't second. They call it show stopping. Anyways, I'm a little tired to be honest with you. When I tell you I am running on fumes, this is fumes, okay? But I was really excited to get on here. I was really like overjoyed to be on camera. I have been trying to get to film a video this entire week, and honestly, this video is not the video that I thought I was gonna create when when I got on here next. Right? Let me adjust this a little bit. Thank you. So okay, adjust. When I tell y'all this is the first time today that I have like sat back in the chair and relaxed my mind, relaxed my spirit, I tell you, I am just so grateful. And I hope wherever you are, you're getting a moment to relax, to ease out, to chillax. Okay. If you're doing some other stuff, maybe you're watching this video while you're driving, maybe you're listening to it while you're doing something else, maybe you're on the treadmill. That would be so cool. I love that for you. I'm so excited. I'm so excited, bro. If you're listening to me on the treadmill, keep that shit up. Get going. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. I'm so excited. So yeah, I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to make this video. It's so interesting how I guess that's the way that I want to say it. God can fire you up in a way to be able to be like, I'm about to, and then you like, if you're really about that God life, you then end up being like, I'm about to get everybody in check. Everybody's going in check. Like I'm about to edit myself. I'm gonna edit how I feel about the other things. Perspective shifting, right? That's the spectrum. That's what we're talking about. Like the range of emotions. Ooh, Lord Jesus. It'd be a spectrum, you know? And I think the beautiful thing about experiencing the spectrum, although it can be vast, although it can feel yo yoing, although it can feel like WTF AF. Okay? It also be a good gauge for like, okay, well, at least I've experienced this shit and I can get past this shit. Like, and I know where I want to land and know how I want to feel and know how I want to move. Even if this thing move like this. Like, isn't the saying like, don't hate the player, hate the game? Like, and even at the end of that, like, is it the game? Like, just know how to play it right. For me, my Capricorn, my like, I got so many placements in Capricorn. My stellium in Capricorn be like, is it the game that you're really mad at? Like, just figure out the game. Because for me, I really be like, it's so funny because on the inside, I'm such a rule follower. I can be an obedient person. My mom would never agree with that. My mom would never agree with that statement. But to me, I feel like in certain ways, I can be very much a rule follower and very much a like, for me, I feel like it's like, I respect rules. Now, I may not agree with all the rules. I may not abide by all the rules per se, but I respect the rules and I'm down to even learn all of them. I'm great at a game. And it's not even a game. It's just like, oh, you want to play this, like, I guess it's a game. A psychological game. You want to play this game? Like, I can play the game if you want to. I can be really good at the game if you want to. Do I have to play the game? Is this a game? What are we doing? So, I don't know how we dropped into that energy. But let me just say, welcome to Embodied Spirituality. We're exactly 7 minutes into this game, okay? 7 minutes into y'all being into my atmosphere, being into my spectrum of the universe, into my little, corner of the universe. So with that, I want to do the things that I need to do. So, this is welcome to Embodied Spirituality. This is my channel, okay? You can find my website at embodiedspirituality.net. You can find me on Instagram at Embodied Spirituality. And yeah, if you're interested, like, subscribe, make a comment, share, all those things. I don't always have face paint on my face, but y'all may see it a little bit more often at this point. Look, listen. Today was a unique day in my realm. But before I go into that, I want to finish my introductions. Like I said, welcome. This is Embodied Spirituality. I am your host, Ashante Marie. Welcome. I didn't even say my name. Lord Jesus. My name is Ashante Marie, from Embodied Spirituality. Okay. And this is place where I feel like spirit has a conversation conversation with you, me, and thee, which is also you, but also me, but also thee. Do you know what I mean? That's what it is. Okay, I'm being silly today because I have a lot of energy and I'm, like I said from the very beginning, I am running on fumes. When I tell you, I think I've had like maybe like 5 bites of food in totality and it's like 9 p.m. in the day. That's where I'm at. But I'm okay. I'm okay. I have water. I'm gonna have ice chips, and this is where we're getting into the disclaimer. So I introduced y'all to the channel. I introduced y'all to myself. I now we're dropping into disclaimers of the day. And it feels like I have a lot of disclaimers. Okay, usually my first disclaimer is that I cuss. I cuss a bit. Now, I try and be respectful here and there, but every now and again, a sailor comes out of me and it be what it is. And I really love my favorite word. One of my favorite words in the world is a F word. So, if you're a little sensitive in the ears, use your discernment. You can choose to listen or you can choose to not, but you don't have to stay here and make a comment if you're not about that life. That's what it is. But I just wanted to tell you, if you are sensitive or whatever and like can deal with it just with a little bit of warning, here's your warning. Got it. Cool. Because I am running on fumes and I don't really feel like eating before I make this video, but I really feel like I need to come on here and make this video because I really missed you guys so much. It's the YouTube universe. And I'm really excited to be with you guys. When I tell y'all, I feel like I was like, oh, Monday I have a video for y'all. Well, I was like, oh, Tuesday I have a video for y'all. And I was like, oh, Wednesday, maybe I'm a little in myself. And like Thursday, I was like, okay, maybe I got a video. And then like Thursday, I was like, yeah, maybe I had a video. And then I went into a space. And then Friday, I was like, oh, I don't have a video. I'm tired. Saturday, I was like, maybe I still could have a video. And now it's Sunday. And I'm like, oh, please let me get out of here and make this video for y'all. Please. So 11:11 on the clock. If I am silly throughout this process, bear with me and enjoy it. Bro, laugh. Get some popcorn. Matter of fact, by the way, get some ice, get some water, get a drink, get a snack, get whatever you need. Get some tea, get some brownies, get some chocolate, you know what I mean? Get some fruit, you know what I mean? Get what you need. So take a second. You can pause me right here. Um, and get you a little snack. That's all. Um, like I said, I'm gonna be ice chewing a little bit because I am running on fumes, but I do love me to chew ice, and I don't really feel like I have the appetite for anything right now, really too much until I do make this video. So that's just bear with me in that. Um, Other disclaimers for today. This will have to do with some childhood healing. If you're ready for that, if you're open to that, if you're stepping into that, 12:21 on the clock, we're here and we're about to do it. And so thank you. Thank you for being willing and kudos to you, bruh. It takes a brave human being to be able to it takes a brave being of any sort to be able to look at themselves. Um let's see. What else did I put on my thing? I don't know. It says something about being children. Something. Children. Oh, bearing children? That's probably so. Disclaimer. Disclaimer. If you're somebody who have a child, you're probably not going to be so sensitive to this. So you're welcome to this video as much as you want to be. As for somebody who, me personally, has not bore a child in my body yet and given birth to somebody yet, um, I will be talking about that to some extent. So if this is a sensitive topic for you, to me, I would say be open. My insides say be open to listening to what I have to say or what I have to share. Maybe my story will resonate with you, maybe not. Um, and whatever resonates, let it say. Whatever doesn't. Do I have to say the same things that everybody else does? You guys get the message. If you resonate with this, and I feel like people do have to say it, I guess. If you resonate with this, if this sounds like it's similar or it feels like it touches on your heartstring in a way, like this is for you. 14:14 on the clock. If this is for you, and not every statement that I make needs to be for you, but maybe a statement or 2 or 3 or 5, 17, 13, 18, 57 or not, or is for you. You know what I mean? So just be open to it. And if it doesn't resonate with for you, just let it go. Y'all know the deal. Um, Other disclaimers. I am somebody who comes from a Catholic background. I do consider myself spiritual. Um, I'm a yogi in many ways too. Um, And so, but I don't know. I've done a lot of healing work around religion and all that stuff to me. So I also do read the Bible and study because I believe in studying. as somebody who believes in spirituality, I believe in the studying of spirituality. In that, I just feel like you can't just be like, I'm spirit, you know, to each their own. I'm sorry. But that's so funny. I never thought about that. To each their own. Some people would probably be like, I'm spiritual, but never study a fucking lick of shit. And like, I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that. I feel like, if you're a chef, you study, you watch people cook, and then you learn how to chop, and then you fucking learn how to fucking balance flavors. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's so many. Then you learn how to like aesthetically make it pleasing. Like, to be great at anything, you're a studier. If you're an athlete, you're studying the greatest. You're looking at who's doing the best, who came before you. You're also looking at who's doing the best right now and how can you do it better. Like, you're trying to meet with the best athletes. So I believe in studying. Okay. Okay. So this week I was Bible reading, okay? As a part of my study as a recovering Catholic. Lord God, Jesus. I will be talking about confidence. I will be talking about what is there anything else? But I literally scrabbled all my notes on here. So if I got to look hella hard. Oh, and then just like I think if anything, a disclaimer. I am going to be talking about a little bit of family stuff. So if you're my family, if you're watching this, if you're getting a little sensitive, it shouldn't be too much. I'm going to be keeping it really relative. Like, so, um, but yeah, maybe you have family stuff that you need to hear. Maybe, I don't know, whatever. That's enough disclaimers. I feel like I wrote down 1,000 disclaimers today, and usually I only have 2 or 3, and that was so many. So let me just get back into what we're trying to do today. So the spectrum, the range, how we got here, how we started, how we getting here today. That's crazy. 17 minutes into the video. 17 minutes into the video, and what are we talking about today? Da, 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 da. Just so you know, as I was starting the video, I was in the middle of my prayer, so I was just finishing it up before I came on here. But show stopping. How we got here? We got here. I'm about to chew like ice for 3 seconds. Don't people be liking that ASMR stuff? And if that's not for you, you should just skip past that last minute of video. But if you did, oh well, you're here somewhere and you like ASMR. Because I swear I'd be like, I don't like ASMR. But every now and again, I catch myself watching like 5, 10, 15 minutes of ASMR. And I'd be like, why are people into this? And I'd be like, I get it, kind of, sort of. Because I think we'd just be fascinated with watching people sometimes. And we fascinated with noises and sounds and like, all of that, So, so it's like, it's like a funny. So I'm not trying to be that, but if that's what this is giving, you're welcome. I swear I'm trying to be out here and being myself, and I think this is the most hilarious shit in the world. So, anyways, show stopping. Okay, so we got here. How did we get here? Okay, if y'all don't know, for me, it's a Sunday now, and this is the equinox's eve. Okay, fall equinox is tomorrow. Is it today? Why I be acting like I actually don't be knowing? Sometimes. Here's the funniest part. I'd be so knowing and I'd be so not knowing at the same time. And I'd be like, how is that possible? Anyways, the fall equinox, to me, it resonates as the 22nd. So the fall equinox is tomorrow. Catch it. That means it's the fall equinox's eve. Catch it. But this is also a timeless reading. So wherever you're getting this, maybe this is a big transition for you. Maybe this is your personal fall. You never know. Maybe this is the following year. Maybe this is 5 years or 10 years or 20 years later. And y'all watching this video and you're just like, oh, this shit is hidden so hard. You're right. You're right. You're on because this is timeless. You're welcome. But I got here and why I have all this face paint on my face, even though it's been here for probably like 12 hours at this point. I did face painting today. So let's drop in. Like I said a little bit about the whole like Bible reading and stuff. I grew up Catholic. I grew up in Catholicism or Christian like belief. I sang in the choir pretty much the first 20 years of my life, pretty much. Let's see. Obviously had to volunteer for a whole bunch of things. What's the funniest part about having to volunteer for so many things? And like, okay, let's get there. But wait. Anyways, volunteering for so many things throughout the years, hospitality, blah, blah, blah. I don't know, youth group, all of that, you know. And I've been so blessed. Also, I've been able to travel. I've been able to meet people. I've been able to have conversations, and I'd be able to be who I am. Like literally, I probably wouldn't be sitting on this screen and say, no, here's the fact. I would not be sitting on this screen in the same capacity that I am had I not had the upbringing that I had, right? Like I could be on here talking about something else entirely different, probably not spirituality, but because of the world that I grew up in and because of the influences that I've had and the opportunities and experiences that I've been fortunate to get, thank you God. I have been exposed to spirituality. I have had spiritual conversations amongst scholars for years of my life. I have studied, I have been intrigued and in search of and in study of my entire life of God and spirituality. Like my entire life. So I'm just really grateful for having that background. And even though I'm a recovering Catholic or whatever, my mom still goes to the church that, I sang in the choir for 20 plus years of my life until I was like, I don't know, almost 30 years old, like 26, 27, 28. In that range is when we stopped really singing at the church. And I started to sing there when I was like 2 years old. Do you know what I mean? Like that was so much of my life. That was a whole quarter of a fucking century of my life. You know what I mean? And now even beyond like being able to step on the grounds, to walk on the grounds, to see children, other children, children's, that's God right there. Children's walk and drive on the grounds, the same grounds that I learned how to drive on. Like that's beyond, that's beyond. And even my nephew, he was like, oh, Kinsey called me old. And I felt some sort of way. I said, because you are getting old, right? Like he's in his 20s now, like about to go into his next year, and like he about to be climbing on the mid-20s real quick. And like he's like, I felt some sort of way. And I was like, it does that to you. It does that to you. Not only being in the space that we're in, but also knowing that time passes and that time still goes on. So there's still the spectrum. There's still the range. It's like to me, I feel like there's so many things that are like, everything is timeless. This is timeless. This is timeless. This is timeless. But at the same time, it's like the message can be timeless, but the person isn't timeless. The experience isn't timeless. The you know, like there's certain things that aren't timeless about that. You know, the message could be timeless. It could hit in a way where it's like, oh, this message for me. I've watched plenty of videos where I've been like, oh, I'm watching this a year and a half later, or a year, or 8 months, or 5 months, or 6 months later. Like, I'm like, wow, this shit is really hitting for me. And I'm like, wow, this shit is timeless. And like, that's beautiful. But then when you start to think about like, not everybody is around forever, things don't become as timeless. Like I even think about, it's so interesting. It's so crazy to me because I think she only passed away, this one lady, and I don't have her name, but if you know who I'm talking about by how I'm going to describe her, then you can drop her name in the comment. I'll drop her name once I refigure it out, but it was just, I don't know why she's on my mind, but it was this, I want to say her name's like Aisha or Alicia or something like that. It definitely feels like it starts with an A. But she passed away like 4 years ago. She may have been like third, bruh, 20, like 28, like late 20s, early 30s, right? Like she was in that range. Because I felt like she was in my age range at that time. And I was just like, you know, she was an influencer. I think she had been on like some social media stuff. I think she had even been on like Wild and Out a couple of times, but she was more of that like sophisticated, like edge to her. She had this big hair. She was kind of like skinny in frame. She started to do at some point like only like, I don't know, 5 or 6 years or something before she really got like famous or stuff by like what she was talking about. And she was talking about politics and like, you know, blackness in America and, you know, youth in America, black youth in America. Um, yeah, when we were having all those like podcasts, like in 2020, like she passed away, but bruh, probably in like 2022, 2021, 2022. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Young. Remember when we were having all of those podcasts about like what's going on? All these black people getting in America. Let's watch this. She was a part of that. She was a part of that revolution. She was a part of that revolution. And she had passed away. She's also did like ballroom dancing and all that stuff. And that was like the other like side hobby that she did that was like that she was really cool at, you know what I mean? And it's just like, I don't know why she comes up because she really wasn't on my mind like this entire week, and that's in that scenario. She comes up right now in terms of like life isn't timeless. Like she was so young. She was so young. She was like, if she was 30, she was barely 30. You know what I mean? Like she maybe had been like 34. Like she wasn't even like that old. Like that's nothing. 34 is nothing. And you would have never thought that she would have not been here. You know what I mean? Like it was, to me, I felt like it was a shocker. And there's been ballerinas that lost their life at like 23, 24, 25. I'm like, that's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. So it's interesting how like we can come on here and we can be like, these messages are timeless, 29, 9 o'clock. But at the same time, in so many ways, there's so many things that aren't timeless. It's not timeless. And yes, you can watch a video. Like I watched what came up for me earlier, probably at the very beginning of this week or even a little bit of last week, was I watched, I think I talked about it on the last video. Mrs. Doubtfire came up and seeing Robin Williams, and I love Robin Williams. I love Robin Williams before he even passed away. So to um, hear about him passing away so many years ago, and to watch this movie so many years after he had passed, it was just like it was disheartening and in a way. And it was, there's a piece of me that's just like, I'm so grateful for his art and his artistry and his craft and all that stuff. And there's also a piece of me that is just so sad about his sadness. You know what I mean? And it's interesting because the other thing that I was thinking about this week, as I also, disclaimer, went through my own personal like mental health crisis this week, it was interesting to think about like how there's some people that we hear about, oh, they committed whatever or did X, Y, and Z or took themselves out or whatever in certain ways. And you're like, there's no way that couldn't be. There's like, I think I probably talked about somebody on the last video too, where I was just like, nah, like maybe a little bit, but like, nah. And there's other people like from my perspective, and I could be wrong, from my perspective, Robin Williams and like other people that I've heard of, um, who maybe have like drugged themselves into this place, um, where you're like, oh no, I believe that they did it because they were already like Amy Winehouse is one of those examples. Like nobody really questions the fact that did Amy Winehouse do what she did or did she overdose? Like nobody really questions that like that on the big frame. Maybe some people do, and to me, let her rest in peace. One way or the other, let her rest in peace. And same for Robin Williams and anybody else who has passed. But like nobody really questions that because you can see that she was kind of in this like turmoil, that she was in this like space. And like I don't that's so weird. I don't want anybody to feel that way about me in a way, but I definitely do struggle with my thoughts every now and again. And I've gotten so much healing around it. So I give so much gratitude to the fact that I've gotten so much healing around that space to where I don't have to live in it. If it's a moment, it's a moment, and it's not what it feels like forever, which is what it used to feel like back in the day. So maybe that's the other disclaimer. If you ever dealt with thoughts of not wanting to be here, thoughts of exactly what I just said, like one, ask for help. That was in my last video. Ask for help, talk about help, be for help, click help, call help, do whatever help, say just help, pray to God, say help, 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 help me, help me, help me, help me. Because that be my prayer too sometimes. Help me, help me, help me, help me. Because sometimes I be in my own fucking way. So sometimes I be like, look, God, help me move the fuck out of my own way to help me enough to be in a better place that I want to be in. Okay? So help, help. And if you can't say nothing else, help. Just say help, okay? It'll come. It'll come. And so in that experience, like I said, I had my own mental health crisis this week, a couple of days ago. And I'm grateful to feel like I can sit here and have a conversation with y'all and be in a better place from that. And not to say that I want to go through this, you know, much at all ever anymore. But I have always wanted to make sure that I show up authentically in any social media space. Not to say that everybody needs to have my business all the time, but I just wanted to show up in a way that you guys feel like you're not alone and that everything is not fucking perfect and everything is not freaking rainbows and butterflies and freaking color and face painting. You know what I mean? And like, even though you can be the happiest, you know, or look the prettiest or be the best of the crowd or the top notch or the winner or the beauty queen, it doesn't mean that everything is freaking perfect for you. Like, it doesn't mean that everything is perfect for you. And didn't I talk to y'all? Like, if y'all haven't caught that video, which is okay, because we're gonna bring it up a couple of times, but this is video number 2 about bringing it up. One of my cousins who passed away, again, timeless, not timeless. You know, my cousin used to always like talk about having a pretty people club, and he was like, I need to make a support group, pretty much a support group for pretty people. He was like, I need to make a support group for pretty people. And I used to laugh at him because it was funny, because to me it was funny because I was like, yeah, I knew I was cute, maybe here and there, but I didn't necessarily identify as being one of the pretty people until I realized I was one of the pretty people. And I was like, not that I fully feel like I need a support group, but like it can be helpful because like it's weird the you get a lot of attention when you're pretty, and then you also get a lot of hate. Like it's such a like, and that's where the support group comes in because it's such a fucking psychological fuck. Like you're fine. Like I don't know. Maybe you can be fine. Like maybe you get ego boosted by it or whatever, right? Because you know if you tell a kid, oh, while they're growing up, oh, you pretty, oh, you cute, oh, you pretty, oh, you cute. That ego be up there. You be like, look, you need to be knocked down a little bit, right? But like, if you experience the spectrum of like feeling like maybe you weren't pretty, maybe you had the ugly duckling feeling, and then went to a pretty person like experience or whatever, or just like lifestyle or just like reality, a reality, like it just is what it is. And so, but you still like deal with the realm because it's like, okay, well, I lived as the other person. Like I lived as the ugly duckling. I lived as nobody looking at me, or I lived as like somebody who wasn't paying me no mind. And now everybody's in my face, and this is weird. But then people are in my face, and people are giving me compliments, but people are looking at me sideways and crazy, and telling me like I think I'm all that, and that's not really what this is. I'm just really just being who I am, and why are people mad at it? Like, what's going on here? It's such a weird dichotomy of fuck shit. Okay. Ugh. Ugh. It's so funny. So that's why 38 minutes in. We gonna be here for a minute. That's why I told y'all to get y'all stuff. If you haven't already, get y'all stuff. You need a snack. You need some water. You need some tea. Go get it. Get a brownie. I really want to choose some sunflower seeds, but I'm really just trying to get this message out. So we're gonna do this, and then I'm just gonna do me after this. So it's interesting, right? The spectrum, how we got into this face painting. So mind you, recovered Catholic. I'll probably tell y'all more on another video, but like sang in my church choir 20 plus years, 25 plus years. We come together every now and again, maybe if somebody unfortunately passes away, and or there's like a big event or something that it just feels like we need to come together and sing like we do. But everybody's kind of dispersed. Everybody's kind of gone their own separate ways. Recently, we came together because one of the pillars of our choir community, Leroy, he passed away, and so we sang together. And as always, we've always been, to be honest with y'all, like we wasn't on social media like that, and social media wasn't really fully hitting like that. But if we were like recording while social media was popping, I don't know if y'all could tell us too much. The egos would have been outrageous. That's what I believe. I said God humbled us by getting us in there before, because we really did that, and we still do that. Our voices sound like I don't know what, God, heaven, angels. Jesus on earth. That's what it sounds like. That's how I even feel sometimes just by myself. So let alone with us together as a unit, as a community, as a choir. Jesus, Lord. Oh, hey, indescribable words. Indescribable words. Okay. But so, mind you, we haven't been singing the choir, the original St. Patrick's choir. I don't want to call us original, but the ones, you know who you are, the originals, pretty much. St. Patrick's choir. What was I about to say about this? The range, the spectrum, sang a couple weeks ago. Oh, just mind you, we had instances with priests coming to the church, maybe not wanting to keep the church going for too long, so kind of was in this dismantling era of their life, and in some way, in some partial way, was successful, but not in a major way. Anyways, long story short, the choir became not the choir, which was so weird because whoever thought that there wasn't going to be that choir there? Nobody. But at that time too, again, when you're doing the best, when you're being that person, right? When you're the underdog, people are like, "Oh, we love you." But then when you're the top dog, when you that thing, when you looking like God, people be like, "Who they think they is?" They think they all of that in a bag of chips, ma'am, sir. Excuse me. Is that what you thought that was? Like us singing, you think that us showing up, bruh, here's my thing. You think us showing up every Sunday and Thursday and any extra freaking day that we've ever had to sing in our freaking lives? Maybe it was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday and Tuesday too for a rehearsal, for a revival. Please traveling and driving back in the day in the 1990s where people didn't have fucking cars like that. And over here, everybody trying to fucking carpool over to get 40 minutes across the bridge. Please, sir, ma'am. It's so funny how far we are into this video and I haven't even touched the surface. Another energy that came up this week was the same thing of like, people are going to be jealous of you. People are going to want what you want, or people are going to want a destiny swap and X, Y, and Z and da 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 and have what you have and be all up in your face and blah, blah, blah and da da da. But they're not going to want to experience the stuff that you had to experience to get to where you went. Bruh. They just want, bruh, because they become a hater and then they be jealous. You like it'd be one and then it'd be the other, but it'd be like they never want to go through the stuff that you went through. They don't want to go through the trials and the tribulations. Like the whole reason why there's a song about a testimony, why people talk about a testimony, is because they went through a testimony. Y'all not hearing me in the back, but I hope y'all rewind that. People can want what you have all they want. People can want what you have all they want, but they don't understand what you've been through. And to me, I feel like that is a little bit of that. Like, I feel like by the time that the choir was dismantling in a way or being pretty much excommunicated from the freaking community, that's really what it was. Like they were just like, yeah, y'all doing too much and y'all think y'all too much and y'all X, Y, and Z. And now 8, 10 years later, anytime that we come and sing up there, they be like, "Oh, we need you back." Do y'all? Oh, we need you back. And here's the thing, like people don't understand. And here's the thing that I feel like people really, 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 really don't understand on a deep sense. Like there was a video of somebody else this week, and I'm not gonna get into her too much, but she had made a video this week, and I am a-okay with her making. She made a conversion. She was who she was before, and then she converted to Muslim, so she's changed how she moved or showed up in the world, which is fine. And I love her being her who she is. But she made a video this week about music and listening to music, and she was like, I don't listen to music anymore because all y'all be knowing other lyrics to all this stuff. And she was like, I would rather know, more lines of and more scriptures from the Quran. And she was like, how many of y'all know scriptures from the Bible the way that y'all know scriptures from the Quran? And so there's a piece of me that was like, I think, to me, I feel like there's all this triggering media sometimes where people are trying to put out media that triggers other people. And I thank God that I do enough self work with myself to not be so triggered by it, to where I was just like, okay, well, she's saying what she's saying, but that's not really relative to me, because I get what she means in terms of not necessarily. But I'm like, look, listen, I don't even fucking know lyrics to shit that songs I've been knowing my entire life. There's certain songs that I be knowing the lyrics to where I'm like, I'm about to rap this from the beginning to the end. But at the same time, there's certain songs and lyrics that I don't even care about. I don't resonate with. I don't sing. I don't identify with. And maybe even if I do know them, I don't be knowing them, because I be like, oh, those are not my words anymore. I do not identify. And there's other times where I sing it too. So to me, it was like, she's not really talking to me. I don't know who she's talking to, but she's not talking to me. And so when she said that, though, it really made me want to respond, because I just wanted to respond for the people who were in the stance that I was, because to me it felt like either people were like, I agree with you 100%, and then there's other people who were like, I don't agree with you at all. And I just wanted to probably stand for the people who are just like, I resonate where you're coming from, and I also feel like there's a better way to go about it. Like, you don't have to attack other people who are doing that. And a piece of how she's going about it is attacking it. It's like kind of trolling, but I feel like that's social media. It's like, let me say something that's a little bit more controversial, which is fine, because as a Capricorn, I get it. I say shit controversial all the time. So there's a piece of me that gets it. But I'm also just like, as much as you're trying to trigger me, I'm just going to let you know you don't trigger me, but I love you. And I think you have a point in some respect, and I think there's other people who other have a point. So I just want to stand for the people who are in that spectrum, sometimes. In that spectrum, sometimes in the middle of the spectrum, because you can feel both things. So, oh Lord, I told you I was gonna be a long video, and I just didn't know how long it was gonna be. But we're probably gonna be here for probably that cool time. I definitely want to eat. And it's 9:41. I want to eat. So I'm gonna try and make this video as short as I can, but I gotta get it out though. So yeah. So how this came about, like I said, recovering habit. So our choir had been, asked to, not keep its residents after 20 odd years, 25 odd years at the church. They asked us to leave our posts. And so we did, obeyed the order in that sense. And there were some people in the choir who tried to continue to go to the church after that. There were some who kind of moved to other churches after that. There were some who explored other things after that. And there were some who just did whatever they wanted to do after that, or in between, or a combination of, combination piece of it all. And that was okay too. But that was like 20 plus odd members of people, you know? And to me, I think even in the sense of bringing up, the reason why I brought up the reason why I brought up that influencer that had made that comment earlier in this week was because one of the things that I wanted to say, like, I understand what you're saying in terms of like understanding music or understanding or hearing lyrics and knowing lyrics more from one thing versus like knowing lyrics from the Bible. I read the Bible, so I'm not, I'm not offended. Like, I study, so I'm not offended by you talking about people studying the Bible, because some people do need to study the Bible and people don't study. So this message is not necessarily for me, but I hear where you're coming from. You know what I mean? Um, and so how did I get here? Bible, church, mom asking me a favor. I don't know. Fast forward. We're here. We haven't been a part of the choir for some years. We came, sang here and there. I think I've been in the church probably 2 or 3 times this year. 51, 15 on the clock. Here and there. This year, probably like, I think this today made it like 3, but probably, yeah. If I take a year's period, probably like 4 or 5. But anyways, family day was today. Family day was today, and my mom was like, "Hey." First, she already told me, my sister and my nephew, like, "Hey, it's family day on this day. I want you guys to be there." And we were like, "Okay," even though we don't necessarily attend that church regularly, it's still family. We grew up there. It's so much of my life. It's literally the majority my entirely life. And so of course it's like, all right, well, I gotta go for this day. Great. I already wrapped that around my brain. Then like last week, my mom and my sister and like my aunt and stuff came over, nephew and stuff came over, and either my mom or my aunt asked me like, "Oh, can you face paint? Like, do you know how to face paint?" And I was like, "Yeah." Like, duh. That'd be me. And it's not like I'm trying to say duh, like duh, but it just be like, I've been an artist my entirely life. Like what? I don't know anything separate from being an artist or a creator, to be honest with you. And I'm not saying that I'm perfect. I'm freaking not Van Gogh or anybody else. And the same thing when it comes to singing. Like, I'm not freaking the top. I'm not Whitney Houston. I'm not Celine Dion. But I tell you, I can give. Look, listen. I can do a little thing or two with a lot of thing or twos. With a 1 and a 2 and a 3. Okay. I got a little vocal cords on me. But like, I've always been an artist. A lot of my gifts, like, and that's not my what my audacity maybe seemingly comes from is just the fact that, like, I think I've had to get into a space of not convincing myself, or just being assured of myself when it comes to the fact of like knowing that I'm an artist, and I've always been an artist, and people have seen the artist in me. So a lot of my gifts has been paint, has been charcoal, has been freaking canvases, has been paintbrushes, has been all of those stuff, stencils, has been all that stuff. How to draw books, like facial and like construction books, like that has been my gifts for so many years. Literal gift. That's so interesting. I never thought about that. But gifts to gifts, that's crazy. Like, gifts to gifts to gifts, that's crazy. So it's like people recognizing your gift, giving you a gift to expand your own gift in order for you to be even more gifted than what you were before. That's girl. If girl, Is that girl? Is that girl? Is that a boy, girl, girl? Is that not God? That's crazy. That's crazy to think about. I was just thinking about the fact that like these like people in my life, whether it's been like there was like people in my life, because I don't want to name specifics to be honest with you. People in my life who've gifted me like how to do a portrait, excuse me, how to do a portrait, how to paint. And I remember even back when my mom maybe didn't have as much money, right, to give gifts, and there was, I think it was the Salvation Army or something like that, or it was the church, or it was something along those lines. Excuse me. Where back in the day, she was just like, and I remember her telling me later after the fact, she was like, I didn't know how I was gonna give you gifts that year. Like I really like was in a hard place, in a rock and a hard place, like beyond a rock and a hard place. I didn't know how I was gonna give gifts for you that year. And I guess however like the process or the system worked or whatever, she was able to say like, hey, I need a gift for my daughter, and she said one for Fernanda too, I'm sure. My daughter, and they were probably, I think they asked like what type of gift or what they're into or what hobby they're into. And she said art. And I remember getting this case. It was like those big, okay, big super as big as your screen, probably bigger than your screen, okay? Big, like it wasn't Lisa Frank, but those big like artist case. And I remember it having like so many paints in it, so many charcoals in it, so many other types of paints in it, so many pencils in it, erasers, so many colored pencils in it. It was like all the different types of art. Bruh, when I tell you life, life, so great. So great. So great. So great. Blessed. Gifts. God. Okay? And people want to be like, oh, you were like, no. It's God. Like it's God. It's God. Maybe believe in him for 3, 10, 5, 1,000 seconds. It was God, honestly. And that like even that gift changed my life. I maybe didn't use it to its full capacity because I didn't really like, I think playing was hard for me. And even that, like that was the thing I wanted to say to y'all. I wanted to read the cards that I had gotten last night for myself. Um at least 2 of the cards that I wanted to read to you guys because I felt like it was like important. But one of those was playtime. And like I knew going into today was going to be something that I needed to like sit in the playtimeness of it. But even like thinking about getting those art, utensils and mediums and all of that stuff back in the day, like I didn't know how to play though. Like I used them, I tried them, I did a little bit here and there with them, but I didn't know how to play because also there wasn't a lot of people who put value in that. People weren't like, oh yeah, do art. It was so weird. I think in the 1990s, especially when it was like you didn't have, all the social media, you didn't have the world wide web, you didn't have the world like that. And you really, 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 really was like exposed to your city. And that's for me. Like there was other people who had other money and stuff and who had exposure to other things. But for me, growing up in at the time of the 1990s, like We had money enough to like have a car that we would still have to use to like carpool people. But even then, it was like a lot of bus riding. It was, whatever. Like the world seemed really like small to me. It looked big but small in the world of what is the actual world and what is the actual universe. And like I was telling somebody earlier today, I was telling them, I was like, San Francisco, to say that I have grown up in Oakland my entirely life, like, and even went to church in West Oakland, which is only a hop to San Francisco, which is really like a hop to San Francisco. I thought San Francisco was Fresno. And if you know what Fresno is to Oakland, like that shit's 4 hours at least. I thought that's how far it was. Like I thought Fresno was like Fresno was halfway damn near to LA, damn near. Okay, a little bit more than halfway to LA. That's what I thought San Francisco was. And San Francisco is literally like a 20-minute drive from West Oakland, But back in the day when cars weren't at like, everybody and their mama didn't have a car, you would have to take some bar, you just have to take some cabs, you just have to take carpool, whatever you need to do. Like that didn't feel like that back in the day. So, the world was a different I had a different perspective of the world at that age. How did we get here? Girl, I don't even know. I don't know. Just being exposed to the world. I remember talking about the art. Just the world is different when you're growing up versus when you're older. Anyways, fast forward. You see, I'm hitting my hour mark. My brain just went bloop. And I didn't say this earlier, but we'll see how long we'll keep this video up here because I'm tired and I don't want to embarrass myself on the screen, but I know I want to get this out. And I know that there's a message in here for you, Nene. So it is what it is. So, anyways, fast forward. We still get into the story of how I got face paint on my face in front of y'all. So, anyways, fast forward. My mom asked me, or my aunt asked me, "Can I face paint?" And I was like, "Duh, I'm an artist, duh." Oh, that's how we got there because we went to gifts, right? But we're gonna do another video on that later. We're gonna pull it back to that later. But anyways, so I was like, of course I can face paint. Like I did like tribal painting on somebody's face before back in the day, or not just one person. Jesus, why did I say it like that? I did tribal face painting on people, like a tribe that I did a wilderness rites of passage with back in the day. And it was so interesting because that was fun because it was just like there was no like, oh, we're gonna do a butterfly, oh, we're gonna do a snake, oh, we're gonna do whatever, blah blah blah. It was just like we're gonna do whatever colors, and I'm gonna like what's the oh excuse me, yeah, we're getting tired. What's the energy? Excuse me, that we're gonna create. And some people were just like furious or well, whatever they were stepping into. Like I said, it was a wilderness rite of passage. So it was whatever they felt like they were stepping into, or whatever they stepped into, X, Y, and Z. And so I did that, of course. And like I said, I've been painting. I've been an artist my whole life. Thank God, thank God, thank God. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm impressed. It be God impressing me through myself. I'd be like, Lord, who did it? I don't know. I did it, but that was really you. Honestly, that's how I feel 90% of the time. People don't even be understanding. People be like, oh my God, you're so good. And I'd be like, that's good. It be really be God. Because half the time I'd be like, is it, are you sure? Are you sure? Because I can be very critical. I'm a perfectionist. Like, I don't know. It's a good. And so, anyways, they asked me, and so I was just like, oh yeah, of course I can, right? So the audaciousness came first, right? Of course I can. Of course I know how to paint. Of course I'm good at it. And also too, because I like things. I like colors. I like painting. I like art. I like creating. So it was a piece of, it wasn't just audaciousness. It was also a piece of me was just like in the joy of like, of course I can face paint. That's fun. Me thinking of like, because I was busy doing some other stuff that day, tutoring and other stuff, extending, sharing myself in another space. So I'm just like, sure, I can. So I'm thinking in my head like 2 hours or whatever. And so when my mom asked me, I'm just like, sure, yeah, of course I can, la la la. Like I'm 17 places. And then my auntie was really excited about it. And then my mom called my other auntie, who was really more in charge, and was like, Ashante's gonna da 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 da. Ma'am. 105-51-66. Ma'am, why you gotta be so fire sign about it? I'm such not a fire sign. Sometimes I feel like, what is going on? And my mom and my sister are fire signs, so I'd be like, Lord God, Lord, I have learned. Okay, I said you got to do that like that. Why you got to tell it right now? So, anyways, she texted, locked me in before I even really had time to think about it because my brain is still somewhere else. I was in the middle of tutoring. I'm in the middle of tutoring, hosting, just coming off of the first week of busy ass coaching. My brain is in 17 other places. When I tell you there's so many other places, and my mom was like, I'm about to lock you in. And I'm over here like, I don't even know what I locked into. Like, I don't have face paint. I didn't buy this. I don't do this. This is not my side profession. I just know how to paint. so, so like I get into the week and I'm working, right? And it's like Monday, Tuesday. Yeah, I feel like it was like Tuesday. And this week was like a busy week in coaching because it was like I have to do these freaking like tests for these kids. Like I gotta be on point for these kids. I gotta record these videos, X, Y, and Z. And that was a whole shenanigan in itself this week. Okay, mind you, that's like that could be a whole nother segment, a whole nother video. So I'm doing that this week. I think I come off a Tuesday of testing. Like I'm literally like I've been at the rink longer, at least 3 more hours than what I would normally have to be at the rink on this day. Maybe at least two, maybe two. But I'm just like, get me out of here. I'm trying to go home. I'm trying to go home. But in the middle of that, I'm still like in the middle. Like we at hour 3.5 of 5. And my mom is like calling me, and I'm like, I can't message her because I got other things to take care of. I got other things to look at. Da, da, da. And then she texts me, and she's like, my other auntie is calling. Like she was like, call your auntie. And I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. Mind you, it's Tuesday. So I'm thinking in my head, I need to tutor again today. And if I'm going to tutor, I need to do it tonight or the next day I have is Thursday because Wednesday is a busy day. So I'm like, I got to call my sister about that. Girl, all these calls. I literally get off from a longer day of work. I'm on the phone with my mom first for a couple hours, or for an hour, on the phone with my sister about some tutoring, back on the phone with like my mama. And then I'm back on the phone with my auntie about this face painting. And then she's over here like, and this is where we get into the range of emotions. She was over here, and I love my auntie. So this is, I love her. She was just trying to figure out what she was figuring out. But she was just like, how much is the face paint going to cost? And I was just like literally when my mom texted me, oh, your auntie is calling you, I was like, let me Amazon it. Let me figure out Amazon right now because I didn't look at it since then. Girl, you didn't lock me into some stuff that I didn't even look up yet. So I did like a 3-minute Google, a 3-minute Amazon search, and I said, this face paint look good. This face paint look good. The reviews look good. It's overall pigment. They got all the things. They got stencils. They got a whole bunch of stuff to it. Let's go. So I'm like, and so that's all I'm thinking about. All I'm thinking about is like the face thing costs $20. I'm not thinking about like trying to charge. Like I'm not thinking about that because to be honest with you, when my mom asked me, I'm just like, to me it sounds like a favor. And like then I didn't think about it. I was getting into so many hours. So I'm like, yes, I'll take a donation because God loves a good donation. Have you read the Bible? But anyways, um I was just like, I'm also like, whatever you want to give me at the same time. Like, I'm really not, like, first of all, I know it's a church budget. I don't really, like, I know what I charge for other stuff when it comes to my figure skating, but that's not this. And, like, I don't really do this. This is just something for fun, for a family day. So, whatever you want to give me. And she wasn't really taking that answer. And she was like, well, what do you want to charge? And I was just like, whoa. I was like, well, okay, this is what comes to my brain, you know, this is what God blooped in my brain, you know, but I'm not really like, you know, if that sounds reasonable to have y'all paid for something like this before, like, I don't know what's reasonable. Like, and I'm not like, honestly, I'm not really tripping that hard. Like, the thing that's so good, and not to say that I don't like to get paid because I love money. Like I said, I'm a Capricorn. I have so many placements in Capricorn. I love sprinkles of green in any capacity. Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, I like green money. I like green plants, and I like green plants. So, um, yeah, I'm like, I'm never shy to be about like that. Yeah, please, you know, shower. I believe that money falls from the sky, you know, because God, you know, believes in abundance. He created the word abundance. Period. Anyways, woman, womb, abundance. Anyways, but that's a whole nother. Y'all can get into that. We probably gonna have to create another platform for that for the ones who really want to talk about what we're talking about over here. Um, But yeah, I was like, if you want to sprinkle a little bit of money, you know, that's cool too. Like whatever. Like I'm really not tripping, you know. And it was funny, like the other part. There was another part of the conversation where she was just like, when after I had told her my price, which to me I feel like was still reasonable. She was just like, "Well, have you done this before?" And she probably just said with all I had, but like at the same time, that's what it sounded like. She was like, "Well, have you done this before? Have you face painted before?" And I'm like, to me, she hasn't seen everything that I've done, so I give her grace in that capacity. But she's known me as a cake baker. She's known me in different capacities doing different things or seen different things that I've done over the years. So I'm just like, to me, it was just laughable because I was just like, well, I've been an artist my entire life, so I'm pretty sure I can paint some faces. You know what I mean? Like, you know, it's that like countdown, like 10, I can paint a canvas, 9, I can paint it. Like, I can paint so many things. I can draw, like, like I could draw too. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I know how to do things in so many different mediums, but I don't want to act like that, you know, audacious the whole way. But it was just like, yeah, no, like you see me do certain things that in artist fashion, in a painting fashion, where I'm like, yeah, I know how to, and I've done. And best look, listen, look, listen, okay. Like I said, being a Capricorn and being who I am, if I have done this more than so many times, more than a handful of times, my rate would be way higher than what I've suggested. I suggested a very, very donacious rate. Okay. Just tip the tip. That's all I'm at. Like all I really required was the tip to come from the tip jar there because that's it. Like, girl, but like my rate would be so much higher if I was actually like if I actually quantified myself as a face painter. But that's the benefit of being an artist, and I'm grateful. That's the benefit of being an artist for my entire life. So anything creative that I feel like I put my mind to, that I feel like, especially that I can do with my hands, well, shit, I say my legs too because I am a figure skater. So anything that I can embody, this is why this is embodied spirituality. Anything that I can embody, anything that I can do with my physical self, like I am going to create. I am going to be a creator because God has created me and God has made me, thank God, a creator. An image of himself, an image of herself, a creator. A creator. I'm so grateful. So grateful. So grateful. So grateful. So it was interesting because I was just like, I went into that space of being like, of course I am who I am, sort of energy, right? A little bit of my ego came forth, right? And not so much in the conversation, but after the conversation, when you after you get out of a conversation, I should have said this and I should have said that and I should have said it like this or I felt this type of way, all of those things. Like a human, right? All of those things. Um, I was just like, I was a little audacious in that space, right? And so then, like I said, I told you guys earlier in the video that I had went through my own personal like mental health crisis later on in the week. So mind you, this is like Tuesday or whatever where I have a conversation. Wednesday I'm just whatever. Thursday I'm like in a different space where I felt like I was going into the tank. You know what I mean? By the end of the night, mental health crisis. And so in a way that was reasonable, thank God. And because I asked for help because in the space before I got fully in the space, I was like, yeah, no, if you have access to help, can you give me help because I'm gonna need it because I feel it and I feel it. And then by the time that I like went through some other stuff and got home, I was like, I need help. I'm going out of like help. And so I'm grateful for the help that I did receive. I'm grateful for my sister being there and being available for me. I'm grateful for my sister also reaching out to my mom. So my mom calling me in the morning and praying over me and all of that stuff. So mind you, that was Thursday. That's Friday. I'm still trying to get the pieces back together Friday, right? And in that, I'm like, I got a face paint in 2 days, like on Sunday. Like, and I already offered myself, I already damn near signed a verbal contract, fucking California, a verbal contract for 3 hours of this stuff. Like I don't even feel like that shit. Like I don't feel like that because I don't feel like when you come out of a mental health crisis, you don't want to do shit for nobody for shit. For fuck shit. You know? And thank God I had the space and the range and the inner like the space and the range to be able to like just be in my own space yesterday, and not really have to deal with anybody or anything. And even though I wanted to do more things, um, I had enough space in the world to be able to not have to and be in a space where I can recover enough to be able to be in a space to be able to better place today. Because if I didn't rest yesterday the way that I did, I would not have been the person that I was today. So, anyways, mind you, so yesterday I had my mom drop me off the face paint so I could like practice or whatever, right? Yesterday I really didn't have the energy to practice. I thought I was going to. I kept telling myself, okay, I'm gonna, and I didn't. Girl, not at all. I'm like, girl, the basics was like I said, we just needed rest. We needed rest. And sometimes it's that. And it was the start of my cycle too. It was sometimes to be that. So anyways, I was just like, so again with the face painting, I was like 1:19 on the clock. Still so far in the video. 1:19 on the clock. So I was like, I don't even know if I want to do this. Like, I can't believe I agreed to this. Like, I don't want to do it. I can't. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to. And then there was a piece of me that was just like, Claire Shante, you're like, you're at a better place. It's only one day. This is one day out of the year. This is not something you have to do every day. Excuse me. And I think sometimes I get overwhelmed because sometimes I think that I do have to do it every day. Sometimes I feel, not every day, but I feel like I do. Like if I do it once, it's gonna commit me for 1,000 years. And sometimes it be like that. Sometimes like for me, and because I think I it's not like a disproportionate range of thought or emotions. It's a very appropriate range of thoughts and emotions, because as much as if it was like this was my first time actually like face painting on these people and babies and faces and different colors, girl, first of all, God is great. Second of all, God did that. Third of all, we did that together. And all the faces came out hella good. And this was, when I tell you, this is like, girl, this is 12 hours, 12 hours, and rest job. This was the first face, like the first like face painting using that medium. But to me, I feel like I'm grateful to God because being a artist, you understand mediums. And to me, it was like it doesn't take too long if I understand how the paint works, if I understand how, like, I know how brushes work, I know how shapes work, I understand how water works. Like when it comes to canvases, I understand skin to a certain capacity. You know, it's going to be a little bit different because I haven't actually worked on people's faces, but I do understand skin. I understand oil. I understand like certain things. And there's so much like science that goes behind it that makes somebody great. You know what I mean? And like even today it was like some of these kids' faces I was like, and a lot of people's faces, I was like, all of this is a test. Like I said, I've done tribal face painting on the people before, but I did the first person I did ladybugs, I did a couple of butterflies, there was a unicorn, there was a spider, there was a sunset with a palm tree, there was a litany of hearts, there was a heart with a cross, like there was a American flag and a vote on the, you know, like I did the spectrum of things. Oh, there was the Hello Kitty. Like there was a spectrum of things. And I'm really grateful because it, you know, to understand shapes, to understand textures, to understand colors, to understand pressure, to understand like paintbrush pressure, lines, breathing, control, like people were so excited for the face painting, and it was so funny because I knew, me knowing myself, I knew that like as soon as I sat down, as soon as I started somebody's face paint, people were gonna be knocking on my door because that's who I am. That's who I am. I'm one of those people, and I don't like to. I'm not saying this in an audacious way. I promise you. I promise you. I'm only saying this in the way that God is allowing me to say this. The things that I touch turn into gold, and not everything, God, but anything that I have deemed as me trying to create in the image or in the thought or in the beauty or in the like, you know, the splendor of God, that becomes gold. It just is what it is. It just is what it is. And I am just so grateful, whether it's been cakes, whether it's been writing, whether it's been painting, whether it's been, I've done belly casts, I've done face painting at this point. Do you know what I mean? It's like whatever it is, people are just like enamored by what it is I create. And that is all God. Like I know that. I may be like, oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. That's so much. Oh, that makes me feel so good. At the end of the day, like the end and the beginning, in the middle, and all in between, like I know that it's God. Like, because I be like, look, God did that because I didn't know what this was gonna be. God just told me do this and I did it. And it looked like this. That's what it feel like half the time. God said do this and I did this. God said do this, I did this. And I thought, maybe, I'm gonna do this. And God said do this and I'll be doing that and then be this. And then people be like, oh my God, how did you do that? It's so amazing. God. Anyways, girl, well, how are we only on the 3 lines of the freaking page, okay? At an hour and a half. I told y'all we're gonna be here for a minute. Lord, I don't even want to tell you where I think we're gonna wrap up at. What time? Why did I write her down? Queen Cup. Girl, I can't read my scribble scrabble. That's the funniest part. Oh, yeah, I think I talked about a lot of it stuff. A lot of it though. And so it was just funny. Okay, so the spectrum, right? The spectrum of like me being like, of course I can, into like, oh, I can't believe I have to do this. This feels like so much work. Like, who signed up for this? Who said I didn't want to do this? I didn't want to do this. Into like, okay, well, it's only one day of your life. Like, it's gonna be okay. And then I got into, fast forward, I had pulled cards last night, and I was just like, oh, let me just pull cards before I go to bed. Like, I'm not really trying to read the little explanation. But I'm just trying to pull cards because I'm trying to see like what are the themes. Like after yesterday, what are the themes? And one of the things was playtime. Like the first one, I don't know what came out first, but tranquility was one of them. Playtime was another one. And playtime says the dolphins know the importance of playing as joy creates miracles and manifestation. And to me, I really felt like that was going to be like when I woke up this morning, I reread at least that title again or that description, that small description again, I was just like, oh, this is very much have to do with today. Like playtime. Like today is about playtime. Like you're about to go paint these people's faces. Like, first of all, you like art so much, girl. You like to paint so much. You like colors, you like art, you like that shit so much that you don't even care. Like you don't even care. Like you don't even care. Like this is what we're here for. We're here for that. And like even this, like this morning, to be honest with you, this wasn't gonna be like my final face paint of the day. This was literally supposed to just be my tester. This was my like, oh, let me see if I can paint. This was my let me see if I know how to do something. And then as I kept going and as I added the detail and stuff, I said, well, and then I looked at the time and I said, well, if I had a little bit more, if I had another hour, I would probably have rewiped and restarted and changed my colors. But I was just like, we're here now. So I had cleaned up everything else around my face and did the thing. Um, and so yeah, it was just like, okay, well, this was my tester. We see how pigmented this is. We about to go. We sat down. I was able to do my mom first, which is what was really beautiful. I love how when certain things become very ceremonious, ritualistic in ways. And so, like I said, it was like my mom and my aunt. Not the one who called me, but the other aunt who was already in the room who asked me about the face painting. My mom was the first person outside of me painting my own face in the morning. My mom was the first person I did when I got to the church, and my auntie was the last person I did when I got to the church, or when we wrapped up at the church. So I thought that was very like ceremonious and very like beautiful in that sense too. Um, and like I said, like even though it was like my first time, I'm an artist, so is it? I don't know, but like at the same time, all I know is that, and I knew going in, I was just like, I'm just gonna get better. Like, yes, my butterfly maybe look like not the butterfly I wanted to look like, but I know what I need to do better. because I'm an artist and I know things. Thank God. You know what I mean? Um, and so I did. I had so much fun. I literally, when I tell you, when I tell you, I did not have a break from the time that I sat down and did my mom's face paint. I took maybe 3 minutes to go and walk to the bathroom and walk back. I think the most time it took was walking. Okay, walked to the bathroom and walked back, and then I got straight back into the food. I barely had time to like take a sip of stuff, bro. When I tell you, I was probably like 3.5, 4 hours in before I really like. It was really like 4 hours in before I had a sip of alcohol, and I just knew I was gonna have me some coffee or some alcohol. And not to say that that's a tester if you don't drink coffee or alcohol or neither one of those. Like, I'm just saying for me, when I got there, and yes, I did say church, and yes, I did say alcohol. My church partakes. Did I say we were Catholic? Did y'all not hear that part? First of all, why can't I see where this bra and this thing is? That's because I'm tired. I need to go to bed. Anyways, we're at an hour and a half. Um, So it's so funny, and I knew that. Like even painting my face this morning. Well, even thinking about painting my face yesterday, I was like, it's funny that there's gonna be just as many kids as there are gonna be adults in my chair. One, two, and it's a mixture of the Hispanic and the Black community, or the masses, because we have a Hispanic mass and a English mass. There we go. And so because it's family day, it's a combination of both. And of course, the thing that was extra beautiful was that, well, Leroy passed away, but also Jorge's wife passed away. I think her name was Maria. And they had both of their names on the shirt, and it was and Jorge is one of the other guys that like really helps out with the community just as much as like Leroy does too. And so they had both of their names on the shirts, and to me, I just felt like it was very fitting to be very communal for all of them together. Um, it was just something really beautiful about that. Like all of us coming together, the Hispanic, like walking onto the parish grounds and stuff, and the tables are set up and the games are set up, and it was nice. And you have the mixture of communities. I said hola. And it was so funny because, of course, like being a part of the English community, I'm seeing all the English people first, right? And like I'm saying hola to everybody because, first of all, what's funny is like anytime that I teach like a student, anytime I teach a student, like, and especially early in the morning, like I'm like buenos dias. And like no matter, they could be as Asian as they want to be, they could be as whatever color as they want to be. I'm always like buenos dias. And it's just because that's like a piece of me does speak Spanish often. 13333. Speak like I don't know. There's a piece of me that resonates with it, and I don't know if it's because like being a part of the Spanish community, growing up in Little Mexico, of Oakland, growing up, like I don't know. I don't know. And even my friend, it's so funny. Even my friend who speaks like fluent Spanish, she's like, sometimes I forget that, like, she was like, I just feel like you speak fluent Spanish. Like, like you just speak fluent Spanish. And I'd be like, somewhere in there I do. Somewhere in there I do. I do be knowing. Um, but anyways, so I was saying buenos dias and hola to everybody in the morning. But it was great to like sit down and then work on all these kids, brown and black alike, you know. Um, and it was cool to like one get better as I kept going. Two, new skill added to the resume. People are like the the DJ will be so funny sometimes because he be so corny sometimes. But he said he was announcing me a lot. He was like, "There's face painting over there. There's face painting over there. Shante, 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 face painting over there. Shante, go Shante, hey Shante." And there was a moment where I was like, "Hey," and but he said the amateur. He said the professional amateur. And I said that's accurate AF because I am a professional artist, amateur face painter, but I'm about to be a pro at everything. Okay, okay. I was like, you got it, you got it. But new skill added to the list. If I was gonna edit this video, which I'm probably not, I would drop in photos of all of these little babies' faces that I did and all these adult faces that I did because that was super cool. Um, but it definitely I wrote down on my paper Super Mario vibes of like collecting coins, doop, 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 and then reaching the next level. You know what I mean? Because I just kept going. You know, I never stopped. I kept going. Little tiny babies, 2 year old little babies sitting on somebody's lap, babies, okay, and then grown adults, okay, getting their face painted. And it's just to me, I feel like it's so again, I don't know, it's something so unique and something so beautiful. And I haven't had it like I can't fully get a grip on it, I feel like. But there's something like interesting about how I'm put into this world to help people like and it's not just like you would think that it's just children like in skating people are like, oh, how what age do you teach and do you only teach so young or up to so old? And it's like in real life I honestly teach like the inner child of everybody. Like I have taught people who were 70 something years old, 80 something years old on the ice, okay? A 2 year old and an 82 year old. Let me just be clear. I've taught an 82 year old and a 2 year old on the ice. So really, to me, I really feel like I'm just working with the inner child of everybody. And sometimes, even with I think the most delicate, well, no, not even the most delicate dance, because working with these children, sometimes you want to say that it's easier, but when you know that you're trying to develop them into the best human and to the best future adult that you want them to be, it's the same as delicate dance. It's like when you're talking to these young kids, you're trying to be like, help them mature and help them grow in a way that's going to help them in their future as an adult, as anybody, as anything that they're going to do in their future. And then at the same time, when you're working with somebody who's older, who already had a career established, you're trying to help them reclaim a piece of them that they maybe have lost, or maybe a piece of them that they haven't honored or spent time with or sat with long enough. And you're trying to get them to sit with that part of themselves again and trying to honor that part of themselves again, you know, or to forgive pieces of themselves or other people at that time. You know, it's very like both of them are such a delicate dance. And thank you. Again, I'm just grateful. Again, I'm just so grateful that God has given me the opportunity to be able to do that, no matter what capacity it is. And I feel like that was the same even in this face painting. Like it was like, yeah, of course these little kids wanted to get their face painted, but when I tell you, those like people who are, and I wish I had more boys that got their face painted, but it was only so many today. But like there was a couple, probably like a good handful of like between like 14 and 17-year olds. Yeah, I would say 14 to 16, but maybe 17 for space. Um, that got their face painted, and like that makes the song come up more. Show stopping, show stopping. That's how we keep it popping. That's what's in my head. They call it show stopping. And like they were so excited to get their face done too. They were so excited. Like to see the joy on their face was like, bruh, just as just as like enlivening, just as beautiful, just as like invigorating as it was to see the little babies, like the little girl I did. Oh my god. It was so cute. I feel like every instance, like every scenario had its own, and that'd be me. I'd be so. Ugh. That's why I'd be like, ugh, sometimes it'd be overwhelming for me. But like, that's what was so beautiful because every person was different. Like, literally, every person was different. Like every tiny kid was different. They had their own personality. They had their own, like, not even just what I put on their face, but personality. There was two girls I did like a big butterfly on where they had butterfly on like their whole face, and like one had like blue and pink and one had just like pink. And like, and the one who had pink, she had such a smaller face. She was probably like a good amount of years younger. Um, Probably like at least 2 years younger, or a year and a half or something younger. And but like just a smaller face, so it was like it wasn't as big of a butterfly, but it had the same like technique to it, I guess. And and it was just interesting that it was even different between those two. Like we had the girl who like she was the first person with a big butterfly who did the blue and the pink, right? Or this is the blue and the pink, and she wanted to look at herself between like every brush stroke. So if I did like da 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 da, she was like, and I was like, you can't look at it every time. I gotta do it, you know. And then the other big butterfly girl, the all pink butterfly, who was smaller though, she was like, she was smaller, literally. So how I had to sit with her, I put her legs on my legs so that she could rest a little bit, so I could sit a little bit close to her, right? Girl, that girl knocked out after about a couple minutes. I was like, she was nodding. I was like, oh, she's asleep. Everybody was like, oh, she knocked out. Everybody was like, she knocked out. So I'm literally like holding her face, so she's like this. So I painted like half of the butterfly and the details and the stuff was done while she was KO'd. Okay, but it came out so good, and even in that, because she wanted to look too a lot of the times, and I was like, you can't look. And even the first butterfly, the first big butterfly I did, her little baby sister got a little butterfly on the cheek, but they did the same color, so they were like sisters. And even the teenagers, they got the same similar flowers on the same side, but I made them like slightly different. One had glitter, one had rhinestones. Like that was even like that to me. Them having joy gave me joy, and it just be so excited, and I'd be excited that I have the ability to, like one thing that keeps me busy. Granted, I feel like I need to eat more. Like it's so late, and I can't believe I haven't eaten. I'm gonna probably have to take most of the day tomorrow to just like recover my system into normalcy. There we go, normalcy, and but I'm still grateful for the time that I had. Now, I was all fired up to get on this good old video camera because fast forward, my purse was left in my mom's car. I was like, she had drove home, which is, I'm only like 10 minutes away from the church. My mom was like 20 minutes in the opposite direction from the church. So I had to go 20 minutes to come back. But I was fired up because I went over her house and she wasn't. Anyways, I don't even I like that's what this is. This is like, who even cares? Like she wasn't like, I don't know. There was a little bit of a spicy energy at the end of the night, and not just with me and her. It was me, her, and my other auntie, and my auntie, girl, Jesus, the person I was talking about before. And there was spicy energy, and I just felt like, you know, sometimes because I'm the younger one, people want to try and just like shut me up and like not let me speak, or like, because really I was just trying to ask a question at the time of at the time of the situation. I was really just trying to ask a question, like, why do we have to move in this way? Because it doesn't sit right for me. Like, I'm not into that. Like, I don't do this on a regular basis, so the fact that I have to do this for you in certain situations doesn't necessarily sit super right. Like, I'll do it for you to an extent, but like, I'm not about to keep up this ruse. I don't believe in it. I don't believe in it. That's not how I move, you know? And to me, I was really trying to sit in a space of like, to me, I felt like one person was in it like a nothing's ever gonna be better, and I was just like, but we are sitting here as godly women. What do you mean? Don't God got it at the final end? Like, what do you mean? You know? And so that's the only part I was trying to get to. But then, you know, other people, to me, I felt like didn't want to let me speak. And I didn't feel like that was fair. And not only not fair, but it was like, you're not going to also make me feel bad for trying to finish the statement that I was talking. Like, who was talking? So you're not going to gaslight me. But again, the spectrum of energy, the spectrums of energy. So, anyways, at the end of the day, I understand why they had to be closed down the way that it got closed down there, because it was like it was too much of a beautiful day for us to be sitting in this and talking about some old other shit space. You know what I mean? So in that respect, I fully respect. In that regard, I fully respect that space. So I actually, like, even as I started to get on this video, as I started to prepare myself and get the space ready and X, Y, and Z, I was really like, you know, I'm not fired up to get on this video just because of that anymore, even though it's helping me get on this television screen. This television screen. But it's you know, that's not the main purpose. That's not really the focus, and that's not really what today was about in the first place. Today was about how beautiful Family Day was. It really was about, you know, making Leroy and Maria proud. It was really about, you know, showing up for people. And one of the things that I really wanted to speak about before I got off of here was just like, and this is for the energy workers. This is for, you know, the ones who know that they have a purpose, who know that they're here to, you know, sit with people and who have the patience and all that stuff. And like, people are always like, oh, you have so much patience, or something. Like, even the fact that you do this face painting, you have so much patience, or you teach figure skating, you have so much patience, you work with kids, you have so much patience. And it's like, granted, I do. And here's the thing though about being an energy worker, though, being somebody who's a Reiki master, really, you know, is that the fact that, you know, when you're really committed to the journey, when you're really committed to the cause, you'll start to understand and you'll start to realize that, like, it doesn't end when you think that you're done with your Reiki session. Like, nah. Like, if, like, for instance, if you went to somebody's house to do a Reiki session and you're the healer, right? You go to the house, you do the Reiki session, you're the healer, and you're like, okay, I've closed the session, I've cleansed my space, I've cleansed my energy. Maybe you even go home and you're like, okay, I'm done. I don't have to have that hat on anymore. I don't have to have that listening ear or that like open heart energy anymore. And I could just be, you know, a little bit more selfish or self-consumed or whatever you want to call it, right? And then it's like, and then God be like, oh no, you want to go and get food. And then you're like, all right, bet. And you go and get food. But the moment you go and get food, you run into somebody who wants to have a conversation with you. They want to have a conversation with you and they're going to just lock into you. And they're like, and that was the thing that was so interesting because I was so tired. I was like, I haven't eaten. I've only had a little bit to drink, had a little bit of water, My hands have only been painting these last couple of hours, promise. And like, we're in the part of cleaning up. I'm just trying to get all my stuff in a bag so I can get ready to go. And like, I had a conversation with one person, and that was really good. Like, I really am so grateful for that conversation, to be honest with you. But it definitely was an extension of patience. It was an extension of patience because, like, my sister had, one of my other sisters had come up, and she was standing there for a little bit, and she was interested, and she had to walk away because it was a long story. It was long, like, sometimes people need to talk, or sometimes people need to connect, and like, another thing that I'm grateful for is that I do have the ability to make space for that when I do have space for it. And now, I'm not saying I'm perfect, and I'm not saying I have space all the time, because when I have space, I have space. But when I don't have space, I don't have space. But when I do have space, which is a lot of times, even in the midst of feeling like I don't necessarily have space, I be having space, I had space. And that was one of those moments where I was like, I'm already tired, yet I have space. And that conversation was good. And then fast forward like a few minutes later, like, I don't know, a scene later, where it was like, oh, grab this from somebody. And I go and I'm like, oh, and then we get into another conversation. And then that's the thing. I feel like being an energy worker, people just want to connect, and people want to have that moment of like healing or connection or whatever it is, right? And we were in that. But when I tell you, I'm like, Lord, I'm like, I'm here, and I'm really grateful for this conversation. This conversation is nice. I'm here for it, all of that stuff. But when I tell you the other end of that spectrum is like, Lord, I'm tired. Lord, help me. Please, please, because I'm so tired. When I tell y'all guys, the fact that it's about to be 11 o'clock in like 11 minutes, I'm literally going to have to figure out like counting, like how many, like I'm going to eat. I'm gonna try and stay up for a little bit just so my like body can regulate a little bit, and then I'm gonna probably eat a little bit more, and then like definitely super hydrate, and then like lay down, and then like wake up, and then also hydrate again, so that like by the time that 10 o'clock, at least tomorrow, because I'm gonna wake up before 10 o'clock. Like, I'm not a late riser like that, but like, I'm just saying by 10 a.m. because I'm sure I'll be up at. Look, let me not claim it because I am. I will be, but I'll be up. Different times of the morning. But by 10, at least, I would hope that my system, my sleep, my rest, my body, my back. I'll probably just a stretch before I go to bed. I'll be regulated a little bit more, But I am grateful to be done. I'm grateful to be wrapping up this video. I'm just trying to reach to see if there's anything to see to say anything else for this. I definitely feel like this week has been a week of like getting more feathers in my back, and even making it through, my mental health crisis, like I said, and, even showing up for work the days before and the days after that. Like, that really did feel like I was okay. Today I'm getting the feather in my head because God knows that this is an extension of me. I'm trying my best to be my best for other people. So that feather is feathering, okay? And I didn't got a good plenty of feathers this week, God. I got a good plenty of feathers this week. Let me have a little bit of rest. I'll grow some more in a couple of days. That's what I feel like. I feel like, oh God. I think this is pretty much it. What I said. What did I say? Oh yeah, no. I think I talked about all the things. The fact that I had a hard time this week, energy worker. What is that in the thing? Oh, the energy worker buzz is what I said. Which is just like the continuation of being like, okay, I'm doing some energy work, and then I'm doing more See, and this is why, here's why you have to, okay, this is my last thing, really, I think, before I get off. Here's why you need to allow yourself, and here's why it's important. This message, look, if it's not for you, it's for me for sure. Okay? Here's why you need to be more okay with taking rest when you need to take a rest. Like, here's why you need to be okay with taking rest when you need to take a rest. Because, mind you, not only did I have my mental health crisis on Thursday, I showed up to work. Like, I didn't go to early morning work on Friday because I was like, please God. And Fidelia was even like, it's okay, you can take a day. And I'm like, I can't take a day. But when I woke up early at 4:30, 3:30 something in the morning, trying to figure out if I'm gonna get the muster to freaking show up at the ice rink, it's so early and cold in the morning. I said, you know what, it is okay to take a day. Because I did really like almost lose it all the way the day before. So it is okay to take a morning to get myself together. By the afternoon, I had showed up to work, feather. Okay. I think I had made dinner that night too, another feather. And I don't even know why I brought this up. Energy worker buzz and hard time this week. Those are the two things that was on here. But girl, now I really don't remember. That's how you know we tired. That's not how you know we about to get off. Well, no, taking rest when you need to take rest. That's how we got here. Sorry, excuse me. Got it. God, thank you, Jesus. Um, but so Friday I had worked, right? And like Friday night, once I got home, I had laid down. Like I laid down before I went to work. I laid down when I came after work, came off of work. So I felt like I should have been rested enough. I should have been rested enough by the time Saturday hit. And then I was like, okay, well, maybe it's just Saturday morning. So I let myself sleep in, have Saturday morning, whatever. And I have, so much on my list. Like usually after work on Saturday, I have to do running around or I got some plan. But I was like, this Saturday, I didn't have that plan like that. And so I was like, all right, bet I'm going to take care of so much stuff at my house. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this and that. Mind you, when I tell you I didn't take care of 90% of it, I probably took care of 10% of it. I did take care of 10 for sure. Took care of some, but it was pretty much like 10 or 80, 50, about much. But like 15% of it. And um, there was a piece of me that wanted to feel bad. There was a piece of me that wanted to be like, oh, I need to do more. And there was a piece of me that was just like, I need to do more. Shouldn't I be doing more X, Y, and Z? And like, I think as the time got later in the day, there was a piece of me that because, and it shouldn't have to be because of this. Let me be clear. But because I had my little moment of crisis, I was like, it's okay, Ashante, if you take a day. Like you can take today. You can take today. Like there's really nobody checking on you. You already paid for your bills or schedule your bills to be paid for X, Y, and Z. Like you really don't have them. Like you took care of the shit. You did all the Tesla stuff that you need to do. You really don't have nobody. You don't have no messages like that's pending that you have to answer in 2 or day or like you don't have to do that. And it was like a little tough. It was a little rough for me to be able to be like, okay, Ashante, it's okay. Like you can just chill. You can just lay down. You can just rest. And that was a piece of me. I would get up and do a couple of things and I'd be like, nah, I gotta lay back down. I lay back down, I just want to eat, I just want to sleep, I just want to eat, I just want to sleep. You know, I'm trying to skip this little ad so y'all don't have to hear the commercial behind me. Well, but it looks like it's gonna take a second. Girl, how long is this? Probably heck long. Anyways, I'm about to be done with this in a second, anyways, because I knew we were gonna get to damn near 2 hours. I just knew that. I was trying not to jinx myself. Um, girl, why are all these ads on here? And now I'm gonna lose my train of thought. Tie dye, energy worker, Sigma. I was thinking about that this morning. Just how like I love working with kids sometimes because they tell you like over the years as the words and the hip words keep changing or whatever, what's tight, what's fly. I'm alone. What's dope. I'm alone. But like they tell you what the cool words are, and I love that I be called the cool words. Like I was excited this morning. I was like, one of my students who uses Sigma, she likes to call me Sigma. Now she's trying to change out of the word because she's getting a little bit older, but she was just like, "Oh, you did that, you Sigma. Oh, you did that, you Sigma." Okay, energy worker buzz this week. Girl, I didn't forgot my train of thought again. Well, look, listen. If I can't think about the finish of it, maybe I'll watch this video again in a couple of days, and we'll go and go from there. Um, oh, I was in off on something. I really wish I could go rewind a little bit. Getting rest where you need it. That's where I was at. So I was judging myself. Oh, thank you, God, because we was about to lose it all. About to lose. I was about to lose my train. But there was a piece of me that was giving myself a little bit of flack about like, what are you doing? Like, okay, and especially like by the time I got later in the day when I was in that like 6, 7 o'clock hour where I kind of expected my energy to be like, okay, well we've rested literally all freaking day. You can do something. And at 7 o'clock, like I did something for a little bit, and then by like 8 o'clock, I was like, I'm ready to go back to bed. And there was a piece of me that was just like, okay. But and I also like started my cycle. So I'm like, girl, like, luckily, and not everybody does this to themselves, or does this with themselves. So I really hope that more females like start to recognize, like, if you're on your cycle and you have the flexibility of working from home, and or you have the flexibility to not have to go into the office when you are on like your first or second day of your period, like, and you can stay home and just kind of ground and like being yourself, like I highly encourage you to do it, like, by any means, because to me I just don't feel like it's right. Like I don't feel like it's right. Like I think I've studied menstruation a lot when I went to school, when I got my master's, and I have really strong feelings when it comes to how we interact with the world as females when we're going through our menstruation. And it was really clear to me yesterday that to still be firm on that stance in a way, because like, one, at home, like just being at home, I didn't have to really deal with people or anything like that, just dealing with myself. But that was a lot, and I was like, I was going through the motions. I was laying down, I had a lot of cramps, I was doing a lot of self massage to try and like rectify that, and like stretching and all that other jazz. But it was like, and I was taking care of myself like throughout the whole day, trying to make myself feel better. And it was just like, number one, thank God I'm at home. Thank God I get the space to be at my place today. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And then, but then there was a certain point yesterday where I was like, I have to go to the store. I have to go to the store. I have to go to the store. And it was like 6 p.m. 6 p.m. Yeah, like around 6:30 p.m. And I was like, I gotta go to the store, but let me get this list together. When I tell you, by the time I got to the store, like when I got to the store, I was like, oh, I don't feel like doing this shit. I don't feel like it. But I was like, let's go. I have a list. The list is not that long. Let me just like tic tac toe, because I really I don't even have the time. Like, when you're so tired where you don't even have the energy to tell yourself how tired you are, that you just gotta go because you're so fucking tired. 24 on the clock. I mean, that was that. I had parked my car. I said, where's my list? And I said, I don't really feel like doing this shit. And I got in my car hella quick to where I was just like, I just hurry up, let's go, let's get it over with. And so I had walked around, but when I tell you my cramps were so debilitating, and when people like would say like, "Oh, a period like can be a sickness or it's an illness," no, that shit really was yesterday, girl. Because when I tell you, walking around that store, it wasn't even that many people. Like I was so grateful to the fact that there wasn't even that many people in there. It was fairly empty to say the time that I went in. But when I tell you, I was like, my stomach, I wanted to be like curled over my stomach and my cramps. And because of my cramps, and it's just like there's something with light sometimes when it comes to your period where it's like the light is too, like even this light right now is too motherfucking much. Okay. Like I can't wait to get off of this camera to turn this light off. I'm about to I'm about to go in a cave. I'm about to go get under my covers. Okay. But like, and I don't think it's an illness to where there's like where there's something wrong with this, but I think that it's a wellness day. As much as I like to reframe like, oh, sick days into wellness days, it's definitely a wellness day. It's definitely a like, I need to go home day. Like I need to be in my bed sort of day. Like I don't need to be trying to answer no fucking client calls today. Okay. And the fact that there are just so many women that because not only have we decided or society has decided or whatever whoever has decided that we need to work through these days and show up the same way as other guys, other people do that don't experience periods, it's not the same. Like I'll be damned girl. It would be so interesting to me if a guy actually really had to experience what it's like to go through a period on a fucking regular, like if they just did a year of periods. They don't even have to go through their whole lifespan. I don't even think one period is enough because not one period is like, it's like you gotta have like at least four to get the range of periods. And then you start to recycle that bitch. Like have it for a whole year, you'll at least get a spectrum, okay? A real full ass spectrum. And like for me, I feel like if men ever had to really deal with a period and actually blood coming out of them to where you're feeling the fucking stomach lining, the fucking womb lining, or whatever lining coming out of your system, bruh, they couldn't have shit to say. They couldn't have shit to say. When we show up, we literally will be in the middle of a fucking conversation. And that's the thing that blows my mind sometimes, that they literally will have no idea about. No idea about. We can literally be staring at these people in their face, having a conversation about, like, did you clock in at the right time? Yes, I clocked in at this period of time. And a fucking gush of blood is coming out of our vagina at the same exact moment. Have you ever dealt with a man's ego? Now imagine a male's ego when it comes to a period on top of it. I don't know what y'all thinking. I don't know what conclusions y'all coming to or what y'all thought y'all coming to. I'm just saying, put the scenarios in the room. Okay. And I'm really not trying to get at men. Like, that's not what this was for. I'm really about to get off of this camera real quick. That's not what this was for, but it was just acknowledging the fact that we go through cycles. So it took me a moment to, that's how we got here. It took me a moment to get into the space of being accepting of like, I need to breathe, I need to sit, I need to be, and like if I need to hibernate or be in a cave, or my cramps are, I hadn't had back cramps like I had yesterday for a long time, actually for a couple of months. So I'm like, this is weird. But also honoring the fact that I had them. So I did so much that I could do beforehand, and then after a while I was like, all right, well, now it's time for a little bit of Advil because I got to get through this. I gotta get through this. And I felt better. But like, a piece of me would have, and even a piece of me was still just like, I need a rationalization about all the rest that I took yesterday. If I'm doing that to me, I know some of y'all is doing that to you. There's some like, I took all that rest yesterday. Like, shame on me. Like, what am I going to do with that? But literally, if I didn't take the rest that I did yesterday, like, that was God letting me know. That was God being like, sit down. God was like, you need to rest because you're about to do some work. You don't know what work you're about to do. And what's funny is I feel like that happens to me often. I feel like I understand it when it comes on a like larger scale, when it's on like a, I'm about to start a new school, or I'm about to start a new profession, or I'm about to like type of scale. Like, I get that because it usually is like a longer period of rest, and it's usually a longer like it's usually a longer period of rest that makes me be like, girl, what is going on here? But this one was so like 24 hours to 24 hours in a way that I haven't been able to see as clearly before. But it definitely went like, you rest, um and you rest and you rest. And thank God I've gotten to a place of being able to honor it, because I could have tried to push and been a little too lethargic through the pushing to where I wouldn't have been able to show up as good today. But even my sister was like, it was so good to watch you. Like, that was the message I just got from her before I started this video. It was so good to watch you paint these little kids' faces, and everybody was so excited. She was like, I got teary eyed at the whole thing, and like, and people were just like, she's so in, she's so focused. And that's just what I do. Like, I don't know how to not be focused when I do art, to be honest with you, because it's just so much of what I've practiced before. And like, and I love the colors and I like the detail and I want it to be perfect. Like, I have such a perfectionist side of me too, where it's like, everybody else can be like, oh my God, that's amazing because I couldn't have done it. And I'm over here like, I could do better. That's me 95% of the time. That's me 95% of the time. Like, that was really good. Like, I did good and I see it and I like it, but next time I'm going to do better. Like, that's me every time. So, I don't know. That is the story of today. To me, I feel like if y'all have some creativity, if you're an artist, if you're a writer, if you're a speaker, if you're a scientist, in any capacity, if you're creative, even if you're a creative like numbers person, if you're creative Rubik's Cube person, like, I don't know, like, you can be a creative battleship person, like, create a new battleship game or something, or like with different types of spokes or something at the bottom, or different kind of rules or something at the bottom. Like, if you're a creator and you like things that are like not even just creative, it doesn't have to be paint, it doesn't have to be art. Like, people think creativity is just like, I paint and I art and or I do art and I draw and I like sculpt and stuff like that. But I'm like, artistry comes in so many different ways, and I respect artistry in so many different ways, in like organization, in like production running, in so many different ways. And even when it comes to like numbers, bro, I fucking love Sudoku. And if you could create some sort of way of Sudoku, look, don't create a art by numbers Sudoku, okay? I'm giving somebody a little test. But like, come on, girl. Like, there's so many ways to be creative. Even if you just create puzzles, maybe you just create new puzzles for people. If you are like a numbers person or a science person or something, maybe create new puzzles. Maybe create new science experiments. Like, who fucking knows? But like, create, because that's what's gonna connect you to God. That's what creates. No, not even just connects you to God. It connects you to the God that's within you, that already exists within you, that already exists within you. So, I don't know. I'm getting real tired. So to me, that's my sign. I've said everything I need to say about this thing. One of the things that I wrote in big bold letters. I'm so tired, bro. God. It was like, I am an artist and I am so grateful. I didn't write that I'm so grateful, but I'm just so grateful. Didn't y'all hear that throughout this whole video? I am just so grateful. But I am an artist. I am an artist. I am an artist. In any capacity of the word, I'm an artist. I'm an artist. You want me to bake? I'm an artist. You want me to cook? I'm an artist. You want me to dance? I'm an artist. You want me to skate? I'm an artist. You want me to paint? I'm an artist. You want me to draw? I'm an artist. I'm an artist. Just ask me, just tell me what medium you want me to perform in. What medium would you like me to create in? You know? I'm not perfect, but I'm pretty damn good. And I can do a thing or two with a lot of things or two. With a one and a two. I can do a lot of things or two with a one and a two. Okay? One and a two and a three. And I'm so silly. All right, I'm hella tired, guys. It's 11 o'clock. It's 11:08. It's almost 11:09. That means we're almost at the equinox. I don't know. What do you guys have on your mind? What do you guys have brewing in the next, season? Y'all can tell me later. I gotta go. I love y'all. I'm so tired. This has been 2 hours and 15 minutes. I love y'all so much. Drop a comment, like, subscribe. If you made it here, you're a real one. You're a real one. Blue butterfly in the wrong side. Blue butterfly in the comments. Look, if you made it here, you could also drop some pink flowers. Pink flowers and a blue butterfly if you made it here. Big love. I'm so sleepy. Y'all love me. Y'all love me. And I love y'all.